For a lot of people, it's coffee. That's why we kind of revolve around that, because it's the most accessible. But even cacao use, anything that is becoming excessive, because whatever it is that is excessive in your life is the thing that generally leads to the foundations being askew. And when your foundations are askew, that's when that lifestyle rhythm, you aren't in flow with the rhythm of what your chi and your body wants, in alignment with the elements around you, with the season around you, to at least to the best of your ability. You start to see yourself tilting over to being out of rhythm, out of sustainable, out of like kind of a sustainable way of living. And it's essentially what happens is you start getting out of rhythm, in a Taoist term, from moving towards your destiny in a way that's really in the song and dance of your internal chi is in rhythm with your ultimate intention in life. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about 30 days of Jing, and this opportunity we just got everyone kind of looking at, like getting off the coffee, or looking at those sleep practices that weren't working for them. Just really thinking about your foundation and adding in the Jing herbs, which are the herbs of foundation. They bring that flow, especially to the kidney water system, and especially to then the child of the kidneys, the liver wood system. And what you see when that happens, when those, especially those elements, and a smidge of, especially of a of an earth, of a spleen soil element being smoothed, they represent the flow of yin yang through those through those organ systems. You generally see when those get tightened up and in rhythm with those Jing herbs, you see what happens is then the Jing essence of your body, which is a big collection of energies. It's about, it's your bone health, it's your joint health, it's your general willingness to get up and take weight on on yourself and charge on a life. That's more your je, which I'll get to. That's the fourth treasure, especially. The Jing is that your ability to have stamina, that energy to get up, that tenacity, to that resilientness to get up and keep on moving towards the manifestation of the life you want. And that which is a beautiful part of Taoism, because it's like, what do you want? There's no expectations about what you should be doing, the way you should be acting. There is such a personal, but yet universal intention of how you would wish to, you'd like yourself to express. And there's an awareness in Taoism. It takes absolutely like decades, an entire lifetime, just to develop a further relationship with it. And the way that we can find that we're in flow sometimes on a day-to-day level, going towards that destiny or that potentiation. And let's take away any of that wording, which some people will be like, I don't like that. Someone just mentioned Dharma on the Instagram flow. Yeah, I'm not like I was a yoga teacher, but I don't use that terminology because I don't have as intimate a relationship with what it is, what it means at its essence. But yes, from what I could understand of it, yeah, all these words just circle around something that is just real and truthful. But for each of us, and for some people, they might not like that language. I just think it's like you get to that later time in life, and you're integrated. The bitterness or the fear hasn't consumed your personality, but what is there is a feeling of accomplishment, sense of love. You have the potential for spontaneous joy to emerge from you. All these things, I'm like, that's just that feels successful. And all of those things rely upon you staying in harmony and staying in rhythm. And what happens a lot in our Western society is people get out of rhythm, they get into eternal dependence of institutions. And especially, and not saying they're bad, not trying to create an against conversation, it's just the pattern that you see at the moment, towards like pharmaceutical, surgical kind of institutions when we're talking about our health. And it's so great that those things exist, but an excess of reliance and just that psychology that's gone in is like, I don't really have to worry about my own rhythm. There's always going to be someone or something to catch me down the way. It leads us to having the capacity to get complacent about the foundations of our lifestyle. And in relating to our Jing, now remember our Jing energy, that essence, that bone marrow, that sexual health, that tenacity, that stamina, the foundation. It's like the pilot light of potential, all that genetic potential there within our body, all that Jing essence potential in our body, that then the treasure of Qi comes and animates all of that potential. You want to get to the end of your life and make sure that you've got that war chest, that treasure trove, that superannuation, that 401k, I think in the in America it's called, so that you can really cruise through those later times in life. You're not running on empty. You're not running on empty capacity within your joints and your hips and your bone marrow. And remember that kidneys that relate to that Jing essence governs that what's known as the operations of your sea of marrow or the brain in as we we most likely know.